Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.co's daily brief. Bitcoin here is continuing its slide, its correction. Actually, I tweeted out. I think probably it was interesting because the level twoers, they're working on trend channels right now. So I was tweeting out. Somebody even asked me one of the level tours about channels. And I think here's a really, really good application of the channel concept where we're just going to simply draw a nice simple trend line off of our peaks here. We're going to project it off of the key previous pivot low, which seems to be this. And I'm just using Tether here. And you notice that this basically creates this channel, and it sure feels like the market is
I think probably it was interesting because the level twoers are working on trend channels right now.
Maybe that must be you notice that there's that over there. Hello, kids table flying to New Orleans. All right. Okay. Well, anyway. Yeah, it looks like YouTube's working. I guess somebody had their microphone on. So, long and short of it here is we were kind of hoping, hope. We had a cute little doji day yesterday, but it actually looks like it's turned into sort of a midpoint indecision point. We lost the doji lows, and at the very best coming out of yesterday, we were sort of sitting in the lounge, and we had the potential for bottoms, but if anything, this is a really good anecdote of why you just can't push a chain. The market will bottom and it will turn when it decides it's going to bottom and it's going to turn. And I'm just trying to find the chart. I had a really cool chart set up. Where was it? I got too many charts here anyway. Here we are over here. And so we were watching this potential head and shoulders develop yesterday. But if anything, guys, this is a really, really good anecdote of why you can't sort of assume that this is going to break out. We were coming through the North American session. We were finishing the session. Things were looking good. It looked like the New York boys were just backing it up against the lows. And every time we sort of banged into these support levels, price snapped back. Then I noticed last night, and I was a little dismayed when I saw this. And what's actually interesting about this is, you remember we had this setup from yesterday working, and it came down. This was I think it was like I want to say a Ron Jeremy setup here. I'm not quite sure why. But nonetheless, double top, moving average fail, momentum divergences. Well, not necessarily divergences, but just, toppy. No OBV follow through. A little bit of a top. It's interesting. Yesterday we were talking about this setup, and the market ratcheted right back. And what was fascinating about this action last night is you can see they took it right up to this high, and then it crapped out. And that actually created a really powerful little candle reversal up here. And I was watching the news wires, and the market was trying to break out here. It was feeling very positive. It had a nice reversal in here. And then the news that hit the wires was something to do with oh darn, slipped my mind. But anyway, it was something to do with Asian regulators. Basically, I don't know whether it was more South Korea. I can't remember exactly. I'll probably should go find the news. But it wasn't really perceived as very positive. And in essence, the failure of this level was another sort of fractal top. And back down we go. And when I saw this pattern develop with this sort of falling MACD, and I saw this failure right here, I was just like, oh boy, this could get ugly. And sure enough, boom. Off the higher time frames, what I see is where do I want to be next? Well, I suppose we can start here. We've been talking about this for an awfully long time. We all know Bitcoin loves Mountain Man. And so I suppose, you can see the previous, look left. We talk about this all the time. Key support here now on this stamp weekly chart is probably this key low. And that is, 58.46. Mountain Man usually gets lots of play in here. And actually, what's really cool about this is, can you guys see how Mountain Man had play here? This is kind of what I'm thinking. You know, big slam into Mountain Man, big counter trend rally. We play at Mountain Man repeatedly, lots of counter trend rally attempts. And then we have the sort of the final capitulation dump, which marks, you know, basically hitting the reset button. It sucks, guys, but you know, it was a lot of fun on the run up, and I sure hope you paid yourself. You know, like we put like $500-600 into an account. We pulled, you know, at least a few $100,000 out. A lot of it sitting in things like gold and Tether and Nubit and SBD and all these crazy anti-Bitcoin proxies. But on balance, you know, I don't think it should shock anybody whatsoever. And we sort of were intonating to this recently that, you know, Alex, as a sort of a crypto insider, has been sort of screaming for this quote unquote developer cycle. Prices are just unsustainable up here. And, you know, when before we started the video today, and I tweeted this out because it's just such a great anecdote. And if you guys, you know, people who are new to trading and are trying to figure out this space, this game of trading, when you start seeing, you know, these kind of things, people in the public making music videos about Bitcoin, that has got to be a warning sign. You all have to learn from this. You know, I even posted in here, notice that the published date was basically late December. And indeed, literally, we saw a whole flurry of these come out. And then we saw more like buy the dip, you know, music videos and stuff like that. If you're going to see that kind of stuff, then it means we're not there yet. We're not at the bottom. These kind of people have to be removed from the market, which sucks, but that is basically the long, slow process that we're going through here. I would say though, and I sent this out, and I think it's really important for this community to understand. We had one gentleman last year when Bitcoin was only like $1,000-2,000 through the ICO season. He cleared like $100,000 on one trade. So, you know, my message here is, you know, just because Bitcoin's doing its thing, that doesn't mean there isn't going to be 10Xers and stuff along the way here. One sort of tweet that I wanted to just bring to your attention, and it'll be really interesting, you know, if I can do this without showing you, who it is. I'd be just curious to see if anybody even knows what the heck this is that I'm going to show you. But where the heck is it? Oh, geez, I guess it was a while ago. That's too bad. Don't want to waste your time here. But what I wanted to show you, let's see if I can just find it here. Does anybody know what the hell this is? Let's see if there's any new people here into the in the group here. O'Neill, I think you've been around the site a while. So Liam, I don't know whether Kevin, I think I know you. Kurt, China. I don't know whether China wasn't around in these days. Bill, do you guys know what this is? If you don't, I would do yourself a favor and try and familiarize yourself with this. What's really interesting is this bull market that made a lot of people a lot of money, it actually happened through the 2014-2015 season. So the message I just want to give to you guys is there's always going to be a bull market somewhere. It's just we do have to go through these processes. And quite often what ends up having to happen is when the whole damn market all melts up together, we got to go through a process of basically the whole market's got to hit the reset button. And that's basically what I see happening here. Everything went up together. And so now you can see that just their base, and it's not even just like a Bitcoin story. This is just right across the board. They're just flushing out the weak hands. I don't know whether it's really in our best interest to get wrapped up in this. This is the whole point of having a plan, making sure you take appropriate risk, making sure that, like I hate to beat a dead horse, but, when I look at this, I wanted to be long crypto. I wanted to be invested in crypto. I wanted to demonstrate little old lady portfolio. Technically, we have about $500-600 at risk here. We've put $100 some odd $1,000 aside. Really, I'm not overly concerned about this, but I do fully understand that, the market's going through the washout process. But remember, guys, this is venture capital. This stuff's up and down like a horse drawers. If you play your cards right, I think you're actually going to be given one hell of a buying opportunity here over the next, say, 4 or 5 months. It's just they're going to just be giving this stuff away. And that's, buying when they're crying, selling when they're yelling. I know a lot of people have been coming to me and saying, okay, Brian, are you starting to work bids? Are you starting to work bids? Are you starting to work bids? Not yet. If anything, the irony of it all is I do have some bids working on Bitcoin, and I might actually be buyer of Bitcoins here soon, which I frankly haven't said in a very, very long time. But most of the altcoin space, I still think we just got to let the dust settle, just cool our jets, just relax, get a whole bunch of, if you want to buy alts and play this season, get some Bitcoin on the sidelines. We talked about new people to this space. Great example. If anything, this is a perfect example where, hopefully you've seen from the public, when stuff goes on sale, nobody wants to buy. So, our dollar cost averaging strategy, if you'd done it over, say, the past 6 months, well, you did a little buying here, little buying here, little buying here, little buying maybe even up here, little buying here, little buying here, little buying here, little buying here, whatever. What ends up happening is you just get this average cost for your positions. So, in an interesting sort of way, those people who are trying to enter the crypto space, this is basically the market going on sale. We don't necessarily need to hurry, and I'm certainly not going to be pounding the table. You have to go out and buy. If anything, what I think probably has to happen is we've got to work our way through this channel. Now, the good part about this, of course, is we got Mountain Man here. So we're probably going to see some sort of bounce on the other side, and then we're going to come back up and play against this channel here. And, I've told the community that on this sort of counter trend rally that I am expecting, and from what I understand, there's a sort of big SEC, CFTC, Senate panel on what the fuck to do with cryptocurrencies. Coming up on February 6th. So, and this is a bit old news. Everybody started, I think it's like, is it the 13th? Maybe it's the 16th. Might be in here. But we were chatting in the lounge this morning as well, too. The Chinese love to use Bitcoin as sort of a means of what's the word to use? Terms sort of slipped my mind. Anyway, they like Bitcoin. And they're on a holiday right now. So it's interesting how this SEC panel, I think it meets on like the 6th or 7th or something like that. And we were also chatting in the New Year, the Chinese New Year. In fact, China Tim here, he knows China pretty well. So they're all on vacation right now, eh? They have no interest in anything right now, right? Aren't they on like since Chinese New Year holiday or something like that? So, and if I understand correctly, the Chinese, they pass around red envelopes, right? And they're supposed to be like, giving money, right? Isn't that how it works? And, you could argue to a certain degree that quite a bit of the buying that pushed prices up into the end of the year, and we see this repeatedly with Bitcoin, is maybe a function of that buying. That's totally possible. So, got some nice fuddy FUD to bring price down here in the short term. And we have sort of a lack of buying interest from one of the principal players in the space because they're just on vacation right now. And I would actually argue, as I said before, if you are in a position to take advantage of this, you're getting this thing at a substantial discount. But of course, as we go through this, all you're going to hear about is wrecked. So, if you can take advantage of this, I would highly encourage you to. And then this is where we get into sort of, okay, what kind of risk taker are you, and what's sort of the path going forward. Hopefully everybody understands our simple concept of reload zones. So really, this is a potential trade location where buyers are going to step back in after this nonsense up here. And of course, hopefully everybody can see the structural levels. We could argue that this is a Kavark level. And gee whiz, you can see we're coming right up against a trend line. So put it all together, I really like the idea of a long-term sort of, well, not long-term, let's just say a pivot. I think probably we're going to get some play off of Mountain Man. I've heard a lot of people saying they really want to buy around 8,000. So we're in that sort of like nanny nibbles, sort of buying against, trade location. I think what I'd really like to see for all sort of the new people to go, okay, phew, I'm safe. It's relatively conservative, slow, but it's going to take some time here, people, is we probably want to see the market come down. Then we want to see the indicators making a low, the market work its way back up, the market make a new low, but the indicators do not, right? Indicators turn back up. So indicators go into divergence. So we have trade location. We then get indicator indication of divergence. And then at that point, we want to hunt structure. This is what sort of the anatomy of a healthy bull turn looks like. But it's going to take some time here, guys, right? If anything, I asked Steven to maybe come in and just give us a few of his thoughts. If I'm not mistaken, I think Steven is hunting like a fox down here. So that shouldn't surprise any of us. But just as sort of I think what we need to consider this is as sort of like a PMA session. I don't think there's a big hurry to be running out and piling your money into anything right now. So let's just cool our jets. Maybe let's listen to Steven. He's got some interesting levels. I've given you some levels to consider here. And the good part about it is, yeah, we are now finally coming into a bottoming zone. Took a while. It was painful, but at least, and I often say that this is actually good. This, in my opinion, is ripping the Band-Aid off fairly quickly. So with that said, that's sort of Brian's sort of thoughts right here. I asked Steven to come on, and we'll put his handsome mug up on the screen. And Steven, how are you feeling today?
Feeling good.
That's good. I always like to hear that. That's good. So you are screen. Okay, there's your screen now. So what are you? And I still haven't had the time to look at it. Yesterday I was in like school and tutorial and meeting hell. So I still want to watch your video. I still haven't had the opportunity to watch it, but maybe tell us what's on your mind here. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'll just basically rehash what I was saying at the Picnic Bear video with Thomas. So I got two scenarios I'm looking at. This first one, there's a lot of lines going on this chart, but you people should just look at this pink structure here. And I'm looking, this is a bullish Gartley, and we're just now coming in close to this potential reversal zone, which is about 8,600 all the way down to the bottom of the structure here. So I'm looking for, once you get into here, I'll be looking for signals that price wants to turn around. And then I'll be entering in a trade. And this is my trade setup, as you can see. I'll take partial profits at 38.2 of this whole structure. And then another partial profits at Mountain Man. And then the three lows method. But this is a Gartley. And it lines up nicely with Mountain Man on the whole range here. See Mountain Man sitting here on stamp around 7,600. And my Gartley, the bottom of the PRZ is about 7,100. So within this range, I'll be looking for an entry. But this is the one scenario. The other one is if we want to go deeper here, say looking down the road or later today. Back in my day, Bitcoin, it would be later today. Bitcoin used to move so fast. But So there's two things that can go on with this Gartley. We'll definitely get some kind of reaction. You know, Mountain Man always makes money. If we hit Mountain Man, there's going to be a reaction, like without a doubt. Is it going to be a reversal? Who knows? But Mountain doesn't care because he takes partial profits, right? And same with me. I'm going to be taking partial profits. I tend to hit these, I wouldn't say blindly, but I hit them pretty hard. And I take partial profits as quick as I can. And I always obey my stops. So it's that's my plan. But if we don't get a reversal and we just have a reaction, that means, and then price wants to come down even lower. Say, let's go back. So we come down here. Let me drop my tool.
Are you going to be looking for divergence into this level here?
Yes, I have a few things with that. So the one thing I was mentioning before with Thomas, the creator of Harmonics, Scott Carney, he loves using RSI in conjunction with the harmonics. But what he looks for is for RSI, if this is to match the, here, let me zoom up. I don't know how to make this so you can see. Hold on, let me make it so you can see it. Okay. Right, so this Gartley, ideally, RSI should be coming up as we come into this zone. But see, it's not. It already broke down. So that's not a good signal for this particular Gartley that it's going to be a real reversal. Instead, I'm expecting more of a reaction. Maybe just a little. Maybe just I'll get my partial profits on this trade, and maybe it'll get stopped out. But if we look at my bigger structure, this big bullish bat, this calls for a really deep retracement. That does work with the RSI. I'll make RSI big here, but see, we're down. This is the left side of the harmonic, and the right side of the harmonic is around right here. And so far, we're okay. But Scott Carney puts a lot of weight on that RSI. But I like to use a whole bunch of things. Right now, of course, we got this big potential MACD divergence. And that thing is, see, we might have like a divergence in a divergence here. We're making new lows. But it's not confirmed yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Willie is just today entering into our stupid zone. So that's the question. I don't know if we're going to get a...
Actually, and that would make sense, right? Because really on balance, do you really want to be selling Bitcoins here? I don't think so.
Yeah, definitely. That's not the case.
And what's the public going to be doing? They're going to be panic dumping here, right?
Right. And the good thing about harmonics is it puts you in the exact opposite of what the public's doing, which is usually the money position.
Yeah.
So everyone's dumping, and I'm having a good old time waiting for my fill here.
So are you watching? Is that 113 level? Is that sort of, because does that 113 on that chart there line up with your smaller targets on the other chart?
Oh, this 113 right here?
Yeah, because notice that's that old high there as well. So I'm wondering whether there's going to be some play off of that level.
Yeah, I do have a.
Is that same 113?
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same 113.
Oh yeah, look at that. It's right there.
Right there. That's where I'll be looking to enter. Right here, around
70, about 7 Gs here, eh?
7 Gs. Yeah.
What is that? That's on the BitMEX contract.
Yes. Yeah.
You like trading these that BitMEX, eh?
Yeah, I do. For you Americans, you can't. They don't allow Americans, so you need a VPN if you want to sign up with them. But yeah, I do. It's a good platform.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. So, and I've been working with Stephen now for a couple of years. I love his very level-headed approach. I love his very calm demeanor. So, sir, if we have a bunch of new people to trading here that are probably kind of shitting their pants right now. So, if we were going to have sort of a PMA statement from Stephen, what would you tell new people to this game to be thinking right now?
I would be thinking, don't panic. This is normal and healthy for the market to be doing this.
Right. Normal, healthy.
This is
ironically enough, this is actually a good thing.
Right. Very good.
But yeah, it's all right. So thank you very much, sir. I appreciate your input. If you had anything else to add, always appreciate it. Actually, you know what? Grim, have you got a microphone today? I see you over there. Oh, Grim's not got a microphone. I wouldn't mind.
No, I do. I was just double muted.
There he is. So I don't know, Grim, another one of our veterans, very level-headed gentleman. I don't know. Do you have a chart lying around that maybe you could tell the good people here what's on your mind?
Yeah, sure. Hang on. How do I share my screen here?
So we collectively share the pain here today.
Here, let me. I'm just going to post you a link if you want to go
sure,
to.
Yeah. Okay. You want to throw it in the lounge? You got tons of really cool charts. I'll throw it up here, and then you can just sort of walk us through what's on your mind. And if anything, guys, this is where this whole 1+1 collective thinking. Let's all get through this together. Nobody jump out of any goddamn building windows, kind of stuff. It's not really that bad, guys. It's just that if you're caught on the wrong side of the market, yeah, the market's punishing you right now. So, all right, we're looking at Grim's chart here on my screen. Hopefully, everybody on YouTube sees the Grim chart here. So, tell us what's on your mind here, sir.
All right, so it's not too far different.
You're over on MEX too. Everybody's trading on MEX.
I like the ability to adjust my leverage all the way. I mean, I can adjust it all the way down to 1-to-1, so which is not exactly little old lady because it's still on a contract, so it still has like a stop out, but it's like ridiculously far off.
That's a really good comment.
I tend to trade larger time frames, 1 day, 4 hour. I usually do entry on a 1 hour, but 4 hours are usually where I'm looking for a lot of my structure. And so I don't tend to trade above, like the highest leverage I'll use on BitMEX generally is like 25 times, but very often I'm coming in at like 5 times or even 3 times. So
cool.
So I like that because that allows me to adjust my leverage to allow me the range for my stop on my trades.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my opinion's not very much different than Steven's. I think we are going to definitely see a reaction on when we tag this harmonic. I suspect what we're going to see is that we're going to see. At the most, we're going to see a rally up and then a slide back down throughout the year, because I think we definitely still need to we need to fill in the MUAC that we're seeing down. I have it marked. My left perk of arc level is marked with a Stein down at the 88.6. We've got that MUAC in there, and we're going to have to fill that in. I don't know that we're going to fill that in this dip. I think we're going to probably fill that in over the year, but I wouldn't be surprised at all to see us reverse off of this harmonic, maybe fill in the lifts MUAC there, and then come up and fill the middle of that profile.
Yeah, I'm thinking that there sure is a heck of a lot of unfinished business up here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, but I think, for the people out there just listening, it's very easy to get sucked into the fear and uncertainty out there. But I think something a lot of people don't think about is who's actually running things, right? It's not the governments, it's the institutions, right? The money is what drives everything. And we've got institutions getting involved in futures. We got institutions getting involved in crypto. I just can't imagine a scenario in which they would allow crypto, especially Bitcoin, to be banned in the U.S. So when people are freaking out about that, just keep in mind who stands to gain from it. If the institutions stand to gain from it, it's probably not going away. So, yeah, I mean, just relax.
And is the public here getting played?
Yeah, absolutely. And I am a big advocate of, I don't make decisions without a plan. Now I'm a little bit OCD, so bear that in mind. But I am really averse to making decisions based on reactions to what's going on around me. I would rather have a plan for it, and if I don't have a plan for it, the action I take is sit on my hands. So
I like that attitude.
And I highly recommend, especially for people just newly getting into the crypto space, there's so much volatility in it that there's a lot to react to. Don't react. Just make a plan, follow your plan. That way you can gauge whether your plan works, and you can adjust your plan. I mean, you can react to the results of your plan, but don't let the public drive your actions.
Yep.
So
well said, sir.
There's my 2 cents.
Thank you very much. Is this like an algo that you built for Volume Impetus, or did you draw these all yourself?
I am using somebody else's algo for that. Somebody from class. It was from level 2.
That's cool. That's cool.
When I was in, if we don't have it in the bring out the VIMP was what they called it, which I loved. If it's not in our library, I'll share it. I want to say it was Ben's, but I don't really remember now who wrote that originally.
Yeah, it's public.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice to be able to see the M's and
W's.
That's
kind of cool. I kind of like that. So. Yeah, and really simply put, for all new people, all we really got to do is we got to just get some sort of signs that the bull is back. I just don't even see the bull here at all.
Yeah, wait for price structure, guys. When you see harmonics and things like that, it's very easy when you're first getting in to be like, okay, I'm going to tag on that. I'm just going to go blind trade there. Again, follow your plan, right? Yeah. Your plan almost always, or if you did it through TRI, should have the need for some kind of price structure. And what I'll do here, this is on a daily chart, but I'll drill down and I'll look for price structure on maybe a 1 hour, more likely a 4 hour. And when I see that, then I've got an actual trade to do.
Yeah. Well, here's a great example where we came into lows, right? When we were coming into those lows, there was potential structure trying to come in here, but it just never fired. So really, really good example where, and I actually like that thing. That's a great piece of advice for the public is, let for new people. Now, keep in mind, like Stephen, Grim, Benjamin, even Garrett. I don't know whether we have any other veterans in the lounge here today. These guys can trade blindly off of levels because they've been doing this enough that they're comfortable with it. Probably, if this is new to you, I don't teach harmonics until level 3 because I really want people to sort of learn the process and managing emotions. Taking, like I said, trades at harmonic levels is actually a little counterintuitive to the basic premise of M's and W's. So it's a little difficult for new people to trading. My simple advice for everybody here is Grim and Stephen have given you some absolutely awesome levels. And when we come into those levels, then we're going to look at the indicators. Are they suggesting supportive action? And then we're going to look at structure, like Grim just said. Do I have W's to work with? Do I have head and shoulders? Do I have triangles? That sort of 3-step process. I'd really like everybody who's new to trading to really try and follow that. So, and of course, there's Sen saying, "Well, I've been going to buy at 7,600 for ages now." All right, and actually, you know what? I thank you very much, Graham. I totally appreciate it. Was there anything else you wanted to add, or do you feel like you've said your piece?
No, I think that's good for right now. Okay. And just glad to share what I can.
I appreciate it, dude.
The whole TRI community has given me a ton, and I'm happy to give back.
Oh, you're a sweetheart. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Grim has even volunteered to be added to the TA pool. And I would have no problem whatsoever if Grim even wanted to teach a level 1 course. I think he's very knowledgeable and can do it. And same as Stephen. On the new site, when we make that migration, if you like what Grim's thinking, you like his attitude, you like his approach, feel free to reach out to him. I'm sure he'd be more than happy to try and help you along. I did, speaking of Sen, and we haven't heard from Sen in a while, but I like Sen's approach because Sen is, he's like a university professor guy. Sen, you got a microphone here today?
I do.
There he is. There's that voice. I haven't heard that voice in a while. So I don't know whether you're looking at price charts or whether you're just sort of, following along sort of sentiment-wise, but I see that you say that you're interested in 7,600. Sen is another gentleman who has gone through the entire education program, done stand-up job. And as well, Mr. Sen here is the gentleman who has, and do you want to talk about that now? Maybe with Bitcoin price coming off, he's not so generous anymore.
No. I can spare a few G's.
All right. So Sen, this is the gentleman, everybody. And I don't know whether he wants to come off camera, but we see his pretty artwork. But this is the gentleman, everybody, who has graciously volunteered the 2 highest grades for this current level 1 term. He is going to reimburse you the cost of your course. I think everybody should go, whoa, Sam, you're fucking awesome.
Well, I mean, really, I hope that people will just do their utmost best to get the best score. And because this you do this education like once, really. And the more effort and time you put into it, the more you get out of it. So
totally. So, you think the education is so valuable that it's worth trying to get your absolute best out of it, eh?
For sure. Yeah.
All right. And on sentiment-wise, you said you've been thinking 7,600 here for a while now. Is there any particular reason why that you're thinking that level?
Well, for now it's Mountain Man level, like Stephen and Grim has also pointed out. If you take a low of 2015 and you go to the high in December, it's right at the Mountain Man level. And also the 200-day moving average is creeping up around that level. So that's the 2 reasons for me to look at that play right now. Of course, I will, like Grim, I will also look at market structure and price, and I will look at MACD divergence to frame my trade, basically. So, but I've been looking for this for ages. Yeah.
Well, good. And what an excellent testament to just patience and discipline. I love that. Beautiful.
And like Grim, I like to also play the higher time frames, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't. I look at 4 hourly basically to get myself into a trade. Yes, it can take days or weeks, right? So I'm not a day trader like many. But I take the swings. Right?
That's cool. Totally awesome. And really the point here is what works for you. You're like busy in university land most of the day, right?
I like to, exactly. So I do a lot of digital currencies, right? So it's I like crypto. Crypto has become my life. I take my time with university, and also, but I also do Little Old Lady, right? So I've been very busy in December, but right now I'm not so busy with Little Old Lady, of course. I have some trades which have come in the past few weeks, but not a whole lot. And I'm busy doing other stuff, like looking at real estate for a close family for me. So So,
there you go. You rich bastard, you.
I'm not going to comment. I'm not. No comment on that. Yeah.
Well, I again, and actually be interesting, Sen. All alumni have an open invitation if you would like to participate in the TA pool. And if any site members are like, gee whiz, I sure like the sound of Sen. He's so level-headed and calm, and he sort of speaks to me. I would love the ability for people to grab a half hour of your time sometimes, Sen. So
sure.
Consider.
I love to help people, and I've brought in a few, and also I love to help people with their emotions as well.
Awesome.
You
bastard! You're a loser! You suck! Is that what you mean?
So if anyone needs my help or whatever, or advice, or how to deal with your emotions, for example,
Well, if anything, what I'd like to do is the boys building the new site have got cute little cartoon characters. I don't know whether you've seen my crazy cartoon characters. But I think, Graham, aren't they working on one for you? I seem to remember somebody saying that to that effect. But, here's my funny little cartoon character.
Yeah, I've got one on Rocket Chat. I've got one already.
All right, so you're on there. Garrett, we got to make one for you. But all of our alumni, Steven, I think it would be awesome if we could do a little one up for you. I know Thomas, he's got like a bear one. So maybe reach out to Garrett says it's in the works. All right. So, reach out to the boys. And this is kind of an interesting angle we took today. And I like it because all three of these gentlemen, I feel very comfortable in both conversing with them as knowledgeable traders and even, listening to their levels. And all three of them have said, hey, we're coming into some interesting levels here. So seriously, everybody, write these numbers down that these guys are giving you. It's very smart stuff. Now, we have one other gentleman here, but I don't know whether he has a microphone. But he's threatening to outdo Mr. McAfee with eating body parts if certain levels are not hit. That was just a silly joke on Brian's part. Jeremy, are you around? Do you feel like coming in and giving the good people what's on your mind here? Jeremy, are you here, Jeremy? Jeremy's our lone bull. Jeremy's still holding up for 25 G's on Bitcoin. All right, he's getting his mic. All right, so as soon as he gets his mic, we'll listen to what Jeremy has to say. And actually, this is kind of a cool angle we're going today where we're just checking in with some of our veterans and just hearing what they have to tell you.
It's worth noting too, I wouldn't bet against Jeremy on that. When we have the rally on the turn of this, I wouldn't be surprised if we tag up there and then come back down for the rest of the year. Could
be. Steven said that he's going to have some runners. He's going to use the 3 high lows to try and stay in the trade as long as possible, right?
Yeah, that's right. Got to keep my options open.
There you go. So you never know in this crazy world, but I want to hear from the horse's mouth. Jay, get your damn mic.
I am here. I'm here.
Hey, there he is. So everybody, if you haven't met Jeremy before, again, another one of our alumni, very knowledgeable in the space. Actually, did you see, Jeremy, the news out of Switzerland that they're like being crypto friendly recently? I thought you would actually love that.
Yeah, they've always been crypto friendly in Switzerland. We have what they call the Silicon Valley of crypto in one of our states. And many other are friendly. And for example, for I think it's now over 1 year, we have the train ticket machine that also doubles as ATM for Bitcoin. So,
oh, really? What are the fees like? Like if you wanted to buy a train ticket for like $100,
No. You don't buy train ticket with Bitcoin. On the train machine for a ticket, you can buy Bitcoin with money directly. It is double as ATM for Bitcoin. It's not to buy or sell with Bitcoin train tickets. The official national Swiss company put that in place because, for example, many of the Ethereum Foundation, some of other foundation are Swiss-based, and many of the ATM machine and company behind those are also Swiss-based. So myself, most of the Bitcoin I bought 3 or 4 years or 5 years ago was via some ATM in some Swiss restaurant. I was going every 2 weeks or something like that to buy $50, $200, $300, whatever, whenever I could, and that's it.
Good for you. That was smart.
And
right, so
about Bitcoin.
Yeah, what's the big prediction here, sir? I want to know, where are we going?
For one, I still have 45 to 60 days.
Okay, so
for two, look where was Bitcoin 45 to 60 days ago. Look,
45 to 60 days ago, and really, what this is probably going to be just full circle, eh?
Yeah. For example, look also when we hit 1.8K after the retracement from 3K. where we went 45 to 60 days after that. After the 1.8K we hit in the last August, 45 to 60 days after that, we were at 5K.
Oh, you mean sort of this, what, August you said? Last...
Yeah, when the Bitcoin drama happened.
Oh, this here?
Yeah, at 8.8, yeah. Here.
Yeah, so this looks really familiar, eh? Like, again, Bitcoin loves to do these AB equals CDs.
And look how long it took to take out the high. And after that, when where it was at 5K, when it was at 5K, how long after that it was to get to 5K?
Yeah, isn't that incredible? Like, there's the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33 days to go from top to bottom. And 1, 2, 3, 4 to go right back up.
And then after that to go to 5K.
Yeah. So, and then the next cycle.
Yeah. Look.
This one took a little longer to climb back up.
Yeah, but even it was from 1.8 to 4.9. So that's more than
1.8. So that's down here to 4.9. Oh, you mean the subsequent rally afterward, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look how long it took.
Actually, it'd be interesting to go to measure the duration of the correction, and then let's see if it was an equal time period. So there's one factor. It looks like it was like 1.5 or so, eh? So there's 2. Actually, it's interesting. So one correction cycle, next correction cycle, next correction cycle. So there to there, that's about sort of 1.5 times the duration of the correction.
And there you have my 45, 60 day.
Okay, so current correction duration is we are now at 45 bars. So we've gone well over that other one. And your thesis is that wherever the ultimate bottom is, it should be about 1.5 times that to the next cycle peak. So
something like that. So
45, that would be 22. So that would be like 67. That's right about there, eh? And that's assuming that this is the bottom. I don't know exactly where it is around here. So you're thinking somewhere out here, that would be like middle of April, eh? And then interesting, right into 420.
Yeah, just the start of April. So when I was saying 45, mid-March, end of March. Yeah, that's maybe 1 week after that.
So there is that window, and you can see from previous trend line support and resistance. So that would be like there, and this is where you win your bet. That would be up here, right? So there's your 25 level right there, right?
And in Bitcoin loans, 45 days, 2 months. That's look at what we do.
All right. Well, only time will tell. For all the Bitcoin bulls, I sure hope you're right. If anything, I think it's a good idea. This is what makes bull and bear markets, right? It's just everybody's got an opinion, and really, what I'd love to be able to do at TRI is just to listen to everybody's opinion. You don't necessarily have to take their trade, but if more information is going to help us come to collectively a better decision. And I think on balance, what I'm hearing, just even our conversations today, is, we probably should be looking for some sort of pivot down here, probably a bounce up. Probably just a smacking up against this trend line again. And the battle at this trend line is going to be sort of Jeremy's tell. If the market can, Ron Jeremy, if it can rally up to here, consolidate, and then break through, then I wouldn't be surprised if that sort of sets up, and I don't know where the bottom is, let's say there. But if we can rally up to the trend line, consolidate a little bit, then really what that, and if we can resolve that bullishly at that point, then you can sort of see the AB equals CD takes us up into Jeremy's levels up here. So, yeah, okay. All right, a little bit of a different bent on our daily brief today, but you know we always want to mix it up. It's not always going to be a rip-roaring bull. Of course, when it is a rip-roaring bull, that's a perfect time to be taking profits and paying yourself for your hard effort. And if anything, I would, you know, my general message to the community, I think, is we're in, you know, cleaning up after the party. Is Bitcoin's story over? No, it's not. Really, I would argue that the crypto story is just getting going. We had a really big fundamental event that brought in a lot of buying, it brought in a lot of public attention. They're unwinding that bull as we speak. And I would actually argue here, like below $10,000, is they've actually removed a lot of the risk of this market right now. You know, and I often tell the level oneers, I see this happen so often, is the market will come down into here and just freak everybody out. But what you're going to find over time is that when we look back, you're going to see that the bottom came in somewhere down here. Yeah, I dollars to donuts. So just be patient. Let's let this develop. It's going to be one of these periods here, guys. I totally feel like it, where we're going to find out who really wants to do this as a living, as a profession. And who's just sort of looky-loo. They just want to come in and grab some quick money. And if anything, you know what? That's probably good because, you know, in our community, we just want the people who are serious about this, right? The looky-loos, you know, kind of like the song that we played right at the beginning today. Yeah, they have fun, but they're not really professionals. And, you know, just listening to the gentleman talking today, regardless of what the hell Brian thinks, these guys are professionals. They carry themselves professionally. And that's what our community is all about, right? Is we want to leverage off of each other's strengths. Okay. I thank you very much, everybody. Really appreciate that. I think we'll have Thomas back in the saddle relatively soon. And Thomas is, we had a big sort of TRI meeting last night, and I think we've all agreed that Thomas would be a valuable addition to the team. So hopefully we'll have a little bit more consistent offering from Thomas. And as I said, on the new site with the TA pool, I would love to be able to have, you know, communal discussions like this. And by all means, if anybody has a half-decent coin that they're looking at, half-decent idea, you know, probably leaving. Here's an idea for you to chew on. I'm very interested. Now, what I'm seeing is there's a bit of a disconnect here between the sort of older, sort of what played out exchanges. Philip Egbert says, I'm not hearing enough commitment here. Interesting. I'm not quite sure what that comment's in reference to, Philip, but I hope you're feeling like we're all committed here to trying helping you. What did I want to talk about? VEE. Now, this is what I think is probably going to happen here in this space, guys. I don't know whether you saw this, but I saw, what's his name? Novartis, I think it is. Novartis or something like that. He was, people were, he was tweeting out stories. And if anything, this is where we really need to really work together as a community to find these things and hunt these things down. What do I want to show you here? I want to show you library. I guess we'll go market cap. All right, so I saw that you know, like I see a lot of the sort of mature names. They've already been built out, and a lot of them are really overvalued. But this is one that this I think his name's Novartis or Novogratz. Is that his name? Bill seems to know him. He was pretty jazzed about this one. So it looks like it's getting punched in the nose like everybody else. But what I noticed too was the really sort of the good ideas. They're like this one here. Look where it trades. I don't even know how to get on this. This is OKCoin's token market. So I'm not quite sure how to participate in that. Ether Delta. I know all you guys Ether Delta enthusiasts. Pay attention to that. But Doesn't it look kind of interesting how there's something missing here? Carlos says, I've just received a very late email notification of BitEric's account login. Almost shit my pants. All right. So if anything, yeah, well, this is the kind of point that I'm trying to make here, Carlos, is do you notice I don't see Polo reference. I don't see Trex reference. So, you know what, I actually kind of think in a weird sort of way, this space in itself is evolving as well. So, yeah, not even Cryptopia. What the fuck, eh? They are on Binance now. Where's Binance on here? You see Binance? I don't see Binance here. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that I do see, you know, this is another sort of evolutionary part of this process that we have to be well aware of. We might actually see what the hell is Radar Relay? I don't know. Where are you seeing that? Is that what this story is? So I'm wondering whether, oh, I see Radar Relay. Yeah, I don't know. You can see they traded a whole hell of a lot, eh? But, you know, I thought this was really interesting because this guy's like, you know, I think he's got a half decent head on his shoulders. And I noticed that a lot of the ideas that are being kicked around these days, they're not on Trex. They're not on Polo. It's almost like that's yesterday's market. Welcome to South Korea. No SEC to worry about. Okay. So, you know, I'm not necessarily endorsing the idea, but I thought it was a very interesting anecdote of the evolution of this space where we have to be flexible, and, you know, not a bad idea to have a whole bunch of different alternatives. Yeah, if you guys, Ed says the rise of decentralized exchanges, is that what these are? Is like Ether Delta a decentralized exchange, Tidex? So, yeah. So, you know, what we need to do is, I think, we actually, as a community, we have to be paying more attention to this, right? And, of course, make sure babies are nice and happy. And watch out that he doesn't puke on your shoulder there, Jared. Liam used to love to do that. He would just turn to you, look you in the face, and blah! So you see Jared's got his camera on here. So teach him or her to be a good crypto trader. Yeah, so point him at the camera. That's always a good thing. All right. Anyway, so on that note, I thought this was a really interesting anecdote. And if anything, let's work as a community to try and, you know, let's be a little more flexible with things like we don't necessarily need to totally do, you know, Trex. If anything, I'm hearing Polo's kind of on the outs. And if anything, I'm getting the kind of feeling that this sort of decentralized, moving away from that old story, we might even find that Trex and Polo and stuff are very 2000. Oh, that's so 2016. Oh, that's so 2017, right? Kind of talk. So I thought this was just a really interesting development in the space that I wanted to bring to your guys' attention. So, okay, my friends, I think I'm going to leave it at that for today. You know, I'm not as you know, as I think has been the general message here, guys, is I'm not really aggressively active in the market right now. I think if anything, what we got to do is cool our jets. Let's just let the dust settle. Don't anybody lose their head. Keep your cool. You know, if you've put yourself into a bad position because you bought the top, you bought a lot of fun, you know, FOMO buying, and you're going through a bunch of pain right now. Well, you know, if anything, that's a really good lesson to learn. And journal about how you're feeling. And let's learn not to make these same mistakes going forward in your career. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you very much, everybody, for your contributions today. I thought that was a really cool communal effort. PMA for the win, guys. Let's all work together. Let's rock and roll. But right for now, sometimes rock and rollers, they even got to cool their jets too. So take it easy, everybody. All the best, and bye for now.